y'all know who y'all rocking with. It's your boy Rocky, the dark-skinned one. And even though we locked in, I want y'all to come and lock out with your boy. What up, bro? What up to the SIGs out there, to all the homeboys, man. Shouts out to the real rights out there, the ones who keep it funky, homes changing in the midst of war. You understand? Who actually put on and don't mind putting on for what they believe in. You heard? Shout out to the queen. Shout out to the viewers who stay tuned in. You heard? So right now, I'd like to welcome y'all to the premiere episode of season 2 of this locked in joint. You heard? Okay, so when I started this, when I started locked in, y'all actually picked what I was gonna do. So, and I'm gonna tell you how, right? Because I started off trying to do spiritual content, try to record my wake up, and I wound up just telling some stories about the hood, and it took off. And I think I told like a jail story, and this is actually this is what y'all chose. This is what I got all the viewers on. So I said, yo, I'm fuck it. We gonna run with this. So today's episode is titled "The Difference Between Bloods and Crips Inside of New York's Prison System." And that could be the feds, that could be Rikers Island, that could be up north. No matter. We're gonna talk about the difference between the Crips and the Bloods, right? And we're not here to downplay anybody. I'm not even on here to make one seem like they better than the other. They both for gangs, and I think, I just think we would have excelled faster in way more numbers if, you know, we cutted the gang activity out of our history. But it is something that's a very, 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 very instrument part of our history, and so we can't lose track that we got some youngins that we gotta stay away from the shit that brought us our demise. You heard? So so we gonna get into today's video. Everything is for entertainment purposes. How can I put it? I'm not here to, like I said, I'm not here to bash nobody. I'm not here to make one look better than the other. We just in here to have some good conversation with some good entertainment, and that's it. You feel me? Okay. Let's lock and load. Let's get into this thing. You heard? So what made me want to do this video? I believe there's a lot of talk going on. A lot of dudes is coming home. A lot of the OGs from the other side is coming home. A lot of stories is being put out there, and I just want people to understand the Crip stance into a lot of the shit that took place, right? So let me start by saying this, right? As New York, right? We are easily influenced by the things that surround us. Meaning New York is one of them states where if you ain't kind of doing what everybody doing, we all looking down on you type shit. And that perception and mindset started to change already. I believe it started with the generation that's like 2 steps under the 80 babies, under the 87 babies. But yeah, I think that the babies from the 2000s, they changed things to where they like, yo, fuck that. I'm gonna be myself. I don't care who like it, who not. Fuck it. And I just wish that was a perception that was actually in the frequency or in the atmosphere for my generation, so I ain't had to follow the crowd and shit like that, right? But we're gonna talk about this, right? We definitely gotta talk about the role the Crips played in this jail system, this gladiator school, right? So back in the 80s, right? I believe late 80s, early 90s, but we're going to stick with the late 80s, right? I'm an 87 baby. So back in the late 80s, there was a powerful, strong Latin movement that was taking place in New York's jail system. That was the Latin Kings. They was predominantly Spanish. You gotta be of, I believe, Spanish descent to even join the game. But back in the 80s and the early 2000s, no, in the early 90s, the Latin Kings was raising hell in Rikers Island for all black inmates. If you wasn't Spanish, then you probably got cut, had a knife in you, got extorted, got your shit taken from you, all type of shit, right? There's so many stories out there of why blood was created on the East Coast, and the Latin Kings play a major role in that. They wanted them to stop picking and choosing every black man and doing what they was doing to them. Instead, in result, they said, yo, fuck that. We gonna make some shit so we can protect our people. Now, I'm not sure if y'all gonna actually hear what I just said in one of my other videos. And now the idea that they created this blood fraction on the East Coast because we was getting oppressed by Latin Kings and stuff like that, I tilt my hat to that, right? Me being younger and being Crip, right? Me turning Crip, the only thing that we had to understand what Crippin' was like Snoop Dogg, right? So when you young, you Crippin', you're not paying attention to why shit started. You just trying to find out the feel good or something that this had, or that being this comes with, right? And so while I'm young, I turned Crip probably, I want to say 13, 14, but I know it's probably like 11 or something like that. And did I think it was cool at the time? Yeah, but now, hell no. I wish I had my pops over me to do more, so I would have never went that route. But I did, right? And this is what I recall, right? In my hood, Crip was everything. Everybody was Crip. Niggas' moms, niggas' grandmoms, niggas' aunts, all that. And I was surrounding areas like the rest of without Sally Matthews in Southern Rutland, all you had was Marcus Garvey project houses, which is the projects that I come from, and Marcus Garvey Village, which is right over there where, there's a lot of Crips over there now. They Cho. It's a lot of shit going on. A lot of GDs is over there now. But at this time, these was the Crips. These was the Crip Hoods in Brownsville, right? And so I'm just giving it through my eyes, right? So I remember being young and I what would you call that? I admired Sally Matthews. I did. You want to know why? We all did. And they was real close with my block. Marcus Garvey houses, Tania Boy and 1400. We was real close with Sally Matthews. They threw parties every Friday, and we was there every Friday. This was Crip love. This was hood love. This was it all. You understand? This was the side to understanding, yo, look, there ain't a lot of Crips out here. Y'all gang, we gang. And our sets was so close together because, like niggas like Birdo, Cilio, K-Bad, all of them niggas fucked with each other. So it kind of was a big web of Crip in the early 90s, right? In Brownsville, in this area, my area only, right? And I'm going to show y'all what we seen. I got to take y'all through it all, right? So this is what my eyes seen as a young Crip, right? So my sister boyfriend, he wanted to put me on. This nigga, flyest nigga out there, all that, right? And he like, yo, I knew he was Crip. I just knew that because he wasn't from my hood. All he did was date my sister. But the niggas from my hood, they tough, they assholes, they Crip, all that. They on time and they not letting you pull up unless you somebody. And you're not gonna be blood and none of that. So that was my first time I understand that, oh shit, this nigga Crip too? Oh, all right, sissy on time, and at least she ain't bringing no op to the hood, you heard? And watching him do everything that Crips did, that I had to, all right, I'm gonna teach you, right? So, them niggas go boosting, right? They all get together, Sally's in my hood, and I think niggas from Strauss, 11 boys, right? This was, and I'm sorry for always leaving Strauss out. Strauss, y'all know I ain't never trying to leave y'all. Low blocks forever, you heard? And we actually gonna do a piece on low blocks in the keys to the yard segments. But hey, so these are the three hoods that'll come together. It'll be Strauss and them, my hood, and Sally Matthews. And not all the time, but for the most part, when it was time to get some real big money, niggas will all go out together, meaning niggas will go boosting, right? It'll be mad at them niggas, all Crips going to the city, boosting, going to Jersey, all type of shit, right? I'm too young to go with them, so I'm watching everything unfold through Rainy, right? And what I mean by that, so if he fucking with my sister, and he fucking with niggas in my hood, right? And so now they all getting money. So every time that nigga go boosting, or all of them will go boosting, and they come back to the hood with mad shit to sell, who the first house that they stopping to? Our house to put up most of the shit. And if, like 2 other houses that actually got their peoples in the projects, and so that was my first understanding that, yo, Crips don't sit on their ass, or yo, nigga, you gonna go boosting or something so you can so you gotta look good. You heard? That was like the unspoken rules of Crip. You can't be no bum nigga sitting on the block doing nothing. And you gotta look good. You gotta be presentable at all times. And that's what I fell in love with. The always grinding, the always looking fly, looking clean and shit like that, right? And so now our peoples, right? And this is the generation that's right above me, my big sister and them. I'm 30, I'm 35, my sister gotta be 40 now. Damn, Trees, you 40? But look, this is that generation that's not too far from me. She probably 4 or 3 years or 5 years older than me, right? And so this is being instilled in me, not sitting on the corner. Now, at the time that I'm learning this stuff, we all baby Crips at the time, right? And meaning we ain't really Crip. The older homies, they making us feel good. They making us feel like we down. They started the set, made us fight each other and shit like that, right? Which was fucked up in being programmed by environment and being conscious now of the shit. But at the time, that was everything that was lit. That was what I wanted to do. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. And so that was the first situation, right? And when they went on these meows, right? These meows, that's what they used to call it. I don't know why they call it that, but when they went boosting, it wasn't a lot of stories of niggas getting locked up. You understand? It was 1 or 2 get jammed up on one occasion, but it wasn't like a mass the whole team going and getting locked up. Nah, it really wasn't that. It was them niggas getting money, coming back, selling everything half off, and getting up and doing that shit tomorrow. It wasn't no Percocets out there. It wasn't no drugs like that. It was crack, cocaine, and all that. It wasn't no perks. It wasn't no lean. It wasn't. It probably was around, but it wasn't in our hood at the time. You understand? So I didn't see the homeboys be doing drugs. I didn't see them really cracked up. The most I seen the homeboys do was drink, fight each other, and get money, right? So now this is my perception from the age of 11 until it was my time to be out there, right? Until it was time for my stepmom to feel like she didn't want to not raise, but she shouldn't have to take care of a grown-ass man who's fucking under a roof doing whatever he want. You understand? Once that situation transpired, now I'm out there too now, right? And I'm gonna be so real, 100% with you, right? I told y'all that the image I seen of Crips was getting money and shit like that. It wasn't even shooting or how can I put it? Like, they didn't give me the image of, yo, we gonna spin a block, shoot everything down, and keep it moving. Nah, that was not it. For Crips, Brownsville, that wasn't our shit. You want to know what made Crips go on the defense now and even offense? Is because that's how we was raised. We was raised to go get money from the city, come back, look fly, get up tomorrow, do it again. We wasn't raised to, yo, let's go to that hood, fuck with them niggas, say fuck. We wasn't doing that. We wasn't. We was Crip. We wasn't starting problems with niggas because they this or because they that or because we want to. Nah, niggas, we was so into us, our own self, that we wasn't looking at motherfuckers. You understand? So what I mean by that? We was so intrigued with ourselves. Let's say we go to a party and it's in another hood. And we did this plenty of times too. Niggas even came to our hood and did it to us sometimes. I remember them Brownsville niggas, right? So now look. So just imagine you being in your crib, your house party, and niggas come in, right? A gang of niggas come in and they take over the party. And so now the party went from whatever y'all was doing before, this gang of Crips came to everybody tuned into these gang of Crips, who they dancing with, they turning up, all that, right? And so that showed us to do three things. A, get money. A, stay fly. B, get bitches. Dance. Care about the bitches, don't care about the niggas. You understand? And so I'm gonna show you where everything changed at, right? So now we not young no more to where everything is innocent. Meaning, I told y'all I was probably in this shit from the age of 11, right? And so now when I make 16, all I know is I'm Crip. I gotta get to this money. I gotta look good. And I gotta be the center of attention no matter where I go, right? And which is okay. Because I wasn't standing on no corner waiting to rob a motherfucker. I wasn't plotting on my homie waiting for him to turn his head so I could sneak thief him or some shit like that. Nah, Crip didn't teach me. Crip wasn't about those shits, right? But now we are old enough to start going to jail ourselves, right? And in the jail is showing us who we dealing with and how we gotta kind of become, meaning this. So take the person I just gave you, right? Now that the Crip and how he was programmed. Getting money, staying fly, boom. So now I catch a charge and I go to Rikers Island with my same morals in hindsight. Yo, I gotta look good, gotta get money, and I gotta be the center of attention, right? That's how Crips roll. But now our oppositions is a little different, right? Because you see how I showed y'all how our own hood could kind of program us and influence us to be something that we probably not, right? Well, on the flip side of that, right, and I mentioned Snoop earlier, right, because there for East Coast Crips, anybody on the East Coast, we didn't have the image of what we were supposed to do. Like I said, all we had was Snoop Dogg. So if I wanted to see how Crips stacked and how Crips did the sea walk and how this and that, I'm tuned into this nigga Snoop Dogg. You understand? Because that is the representation of Crip from the homeland. And so even out here, right, you got Biz Lo. The biggest name in Crip is Biz Lo, right? And it's A-Tray homie. Definitely, my whole hood was under him, right? But Biz was locked up so long that it's DNA a myth. You understand? So now I'm gonna tell y'all with the jail shit, right? So now I'm young enough, got a little swag, looking good on Crip, got a little bit of knowledge. I get jammed up, right? I'll go get money and I get jammed up, right? And now I'm coming into Rikers Island, looking good, knowing I gotta get my little hustle on. And I know that I'm about to be that nigga, center of attention, right? Well, how the other side is brought up. Now, I can't speak on blood and how those dudes got programmed and what made them want to be blood and the motivation that kept them being blood and their rules from what was right, what was wrong. I don't know none of that, right? I just know that, and from the YouTube videos, is that blood was created to override, protect, oppressive, is to ride against the oppression, right? And I had to look at this shit like, all right, the Bloods came out to protect us blacks from oppression. And then, when Cameron and Jewels and Game and Lil Wayne, and when this big ass influence came from hip hop and mainstream music, that blood was better and that you might want to be blood because of everybody who's attached to blood is the influence now, right? And so I would say you see how our big homies from the Crips, it was like, yo, I be seeing our big dogs get money. When it came to blood, it started on the East Coast, because Crips, our set came from the West Coast. Always remember that our set was originally real before Big Mac even tried to start blood on the East Coast, right? But no, I want y'all to understand something. So now for the Bloods and why they was created to protect the black skin against oppression. And to do that, you got to be violent. To even know that that's a problem, you have to have seen the violence already. So the upbringing of blood is surrounded by violence. It's not surrounded by going to booths or going to get money or looking good or making sure everybody fed. You understand? Nah, this came from, the blood on the East Coast was birthed through the emotions of, them niggas is stabbing us. Fuck that, we gotta go out and just, right? And it worked. And it actually worked. All right, being that I'm from Brooklyn, I know that Brooklyn is so strong up north that you could just be from Brooklyn and you be good, right? But so now all the blacks, right? All the blacks here with the Bloods is starting. it was a point in time in the beginning of Blood, and a lot of OGs are saying it. It's like, yo, when we used to get up top or get to them spots with them Spanish niggas, they had asked niggas, yo, you Blood? And a lot of niggas was low riding, like, yo, nah, I ain't Blood. Because as soon as you say, yeah, I'm Blood, the Spanish niggas was on your ass, right? But there was a lot of big names that came from Brooklyn who stood up for everybody, who stood up for the whole jail, right? Who stood up for all the black men in these jails. And that was people like Born Son, King Tut and them, right? Looking at these Spanish niggas like, yo, if another one of our peoples get touched on it, we all going. Y'all all getting the fuck out of here. You understand? So we seen how you can actually fight against oppression. And I feel like even though it was to protect the black skin and the black man, no matter if he gangbanging or not, we got to stand up and fight for us. What was the conflict that got started by over the Crips and Bloods? If y'all was willing to fight these Spanish brothers to protect the black skin, how y'all knowing that we don't got no numbers in this penitentiary or these or Rikers and wherever, and you oppress us too? Y'all look that we don't got the numbers because a lot of Bloods see a lot of things that came from Crip, right? Meaning they know when they see a Crip ain't got no numbers. They know if you see a Crip, 9 times out of 10 they gonna be low riding. They gonna be scared for their fucking life because they surrounded by a bunch of Bloods. All right, y'all knew that. Just like we was scared for our life when we were surrounded by a bunch of Spanish niggas. Y'all understood this, but y'all still flipped it back to black on black violence when y'all started to violate the Crips when they was pulling up. So the Crips had to worry about the Spanish niggas, and now this big ass Blood shit that's just blowing up crazy, right? And now we're gonna get into what I wanted to get into, right? The difference between this Crip and this Blood shit, right? So Crips, a lot of the time, we ain't got no choice but to stick together. Let me say that again. Sometimes Crips, we don't even got no choice but to stick together. So now, from a lot of these stories that these OGs who just came home is starting to tell, right? We are now seeing the insides of the East Coast Bloods, the insides of the inner structure, the power struggle between certain individuals, right? And look, even though OG Mac was able to start one of the biggest and deadliest gangs on the East Coast, y'all still was responsible for your own demise on every level. So this is the Crip thing, right? And I can't speak for Flatbush and all that. I just know my area, right? And in my generation and when we was coming up. You knew that it was rare to see Crips, period, right? So to see another Crip, and I don't give a fuck what set they was from, you was like, yo, what's cracking? It was all love. Now you got some sets that went at it and still going at it, like the Insanes and 83rd Gangsters, and that's because of Flatbush, beef that stemmed from who knows, you understand? But it's not really Crip beef. It's not Crip on Crip. You understand? So now inside the jails, right? Being that Blood was created, the East Coast Bloods, being that Blood was created in jail, they structure is in jail. You understand? Now with Crips, we don't have a lot of we got a lot of Crips that's locked up, but we don't have whole sets that's locked up. You understand? Or whole how can I put it? So they said when OG Mac started the blood thing, he was giving out hoods, and from when he gave you a hood, you were supposed to make your numbers all through the state, upstate and all that, and turn niggas blood, and boom, that'll be your lineup. A lot of these people who got these hoods, they was in jail creating their lineups, creating their codes, creating it all. They was still in jail, and not the Crips. Not, we didn't start in jail, and it wasn't nobody who rebirthed Crip on the East Coast. It wasn't nobody. This shit actually came from Psych, Bike, and Biz. You understand? And them going out there, we already know Biz. If you ever seen Biz, that nigga is a back west nigga for real. You heard? Nigga look just like them Cali niggas. And Psych Bike, all we could say is, Psych Bike been Crip since forever. The leader of the GS9 shit. His name get thrown everywhere. This nigga been in jail forever. And he one of them names who we know he ain't soft. You heard? And so, but that don't stop that. The biggest, all right. So at the time, that was the younger generation. That was the 90s. So now with time come different laws and shit like that, right? And so once New York started to get big on secret indictments or gang indictments or drug conspiracies, that's what I meant to say on conspiracies. Conspiracies is they don't really got to catch you doing much. All they got to do is see who you associated with and associate you with them. And that shit is foul, right? But when they started doing that, that's when they started locking up crews of people, right? Because this wasn't happening until the Supreme Teams, Fat Cats, and the Kings of Seven Crowns of Queens. Who else? Who else was like a? Because we seen it elsewhere, like I ain't gonna say BMF, but we seen it elsewhere with drug crews and shit like the Boobie Boys and stuff like that. But New York, we wasn't really screaming. And I'm talking about after the drug epidemic, after those, or the lynch crew, the lynch mob and all that, after they got chained up and taken away, right? Now we're dealing with a younger generation of people, right? And so how can I put it? So now when the cops start doing these conspiracy raids and gang indictments and stuff like that, and they start snatching up the whole crew, that's when Crips by the 20s started to come in. Other than that, before the gang indictments and stuff like that, it was only what was that? Boosting cases and little light shit that a motherfucker go home from, or to be just one person locked up from the whole hood and from your whole Crip set. You the only one locked up. That's how it be. So they are not, the other Crips isn't in there with their whole set that's protecting. Nah, they in there by themselves, one person, and they be lucky to see another Crip and another Crip and another Crip that come from other sets, and then y'all get together. You understand? But when it come to the blood shit, they whole lineups be in jail. So, just think about the difference there. Not only they lineups, but they drops is in jail too. They missiles, they whole structure started in jail. And most of their structure now is a lot of them out. We seeing the gang members is out, but we seeing them come in too, like the cast, the Grillstone, Bloodstones, whatever, all that shit. You understand? I'm sorry to fuck that up, but we seen Casanova and them niggas catch their indictment. We see non-trading Shoddy and them niggas catch their indictment. We see everybody catching their indictment, right? And I was in the feds. When this crew came in. They was from Harlem. This is, for anybody who know, drop it in the comment. But this crew, they was out of Harlem. The year was 2017. Was it 2017? Yeah, the year was 2017, and this crew, they was in Harlem. They was beefing with another block. So half of the indictment is Crip, half of the indictment is Blood. It was two projects that didn't like each other, that was warring with each other, and they put them under one big ass gang indictment, right? And that was my first time, 2017, and I've been getting locked up there since, who knows, you understand? The 90s, I know not the 90s, the early 2000s, right? And I didn't never see a house where everybody was the same set. Nah, I didn't see that. And so while we see now the end result of having your whole structure in jail and starting in jail and even having the numbers and y'all niggas destroying everything is eventually that the head of that snake gotta turn on itself. And that's exactly what happened. So now when you got the tough Crip niggas who made it through the little situations that he made it through, and he found himself in Attica or Bear Hill or something like that, and if he see another homeboy that jacking his shit, it's gonna be all love there. Yo, what's cracking? Remember what I just said. If he's a stand-up individual, yeah, and I gotta put emphasis on a word, real standing tall individual, because you got some Crips who, so they could live amongst the Bloods, they'll be having some shit come in like Bacco, weed, K2, all that, and they'll piece off the homies and shit like that. And that's how they gain they little stay there. Or you could be official, super official, and niggas know better. Or you could you'll be the nigga who cool with a few homies, so you'll tell them like, yo, look, y'all let me live. I'll call out all the Crip niggas who pull up. I'll make sure y'all know who it is. Y'all clap and we get them the fuck out of here. That's what Crips is doing to other Crips too. They was on some real fuck shit. But it never was like 5 of them doing it. It was one nigga in one jail doing it. It never was a gang in them and shit like that. So for the most part, when you inside jail, even in the street, a lot of times we was fucking surprised to bump into another Crip, to where that shit was all love, right? But now on the flip side, now where it was a power struggle with that blood shit, them niggas started succumbing to their own demise, because look, it was big. Everybody wanted to be a big homie, and once you got that status, oh, you doing things, you sending missiles at your own Bloods. You understand? You sending missiles at your own Bloods. You talking down on your own Bloods, all for the power. It's a lot of these, and this is what power did, not only to us, but even to the slave owner. You understand? Nigga thought he was God. To the mindset that you gotta be in when you own slaves. Oh, I own a human being. I can have them do what I want. Now he think he God. That is no difference from these gang leaders who ain't never coming home. So now they gang inside of jail. They guard inside of jail, telling everybody what to do. They getting people hurt. They getting this happen. They breaking up with their people. If you look at the interview that Flip the Script did with all of the first generation Bloods, the first generation Bloods that came up on the show, CK, all of them, right? If we was to go and see that episode again, that shit'll fuck up y'all head, because you'll be like, yo, damn, I thought y'all niggas was cool. These niggas was getting each other cut, was fading each other. Like, that shit is weird, bro. That shit is weird. And to come home and say I'm this. Nah, I believe niggas did bad. I know niggas did bad. Yeah, niggas, it's the boy, what's his name? Charleston White. Everybody get mad when he speak about certain shit, right? But that should be the truth. And I learned that they only get mad because that shit striking a chord inside of them. So man, listen. That gang shit, that shit was made and put out to divide us. Do y'all understand something? Let me see if y'all understand this right here, right? So now we are in some real spooky times with outside and the government, and just being aware that some little weird shit is starting to go on, right? Meaning the government is doing a little shit to show that they control us, or show us that they've been playing, whatever it is that they doing, right? As black people, as colored people, we have always had protection. And look at slavery, right? Look at slavery. Them niggas was whatever they say slavery was. I just know they was taking slaves and keeping them there on their property, and even when they was doing this type of shit to us, right? We understood we are all we got. We gotta be strong together in this shit, or all of us is gonna perish. And that's the same shit with the gang culture. You understand? I'm talking about New York. And I'm talking about the Bloods and the Crips and the difference, and what the Bloods actually did to New York, and to the prison system of New York. You know, we could have did better without gangs, right? But we could have did even better without giving one man or certain individuals all the power. You understand? We all got our strong traits and our shortcomings too. I'm not saying this to downplay nobody, but it seems like they never wanted us to come together, because if we came together, they'd get movements like the Black Panthers and shit like that. Instead, they wanted us to turn on each other and eliminate each other. And so my only question, I want you to leave it in the comment. Are they succeeding at getting us to eliminate ourselves?